So let them find the artifact and let them be gone.
Well, the problem is...
We cannot fight 10 well-trained soldiers between the 4 of us.
Well, once I actually fought down 10 people and a sun tiger in the Tarkus Black Desert. It's how I got this weapon.
It sounds like you're almost longing for bloodshed.
As I open the tent to start leading us out, I say, Father, please, fine, let us finally work together. What should we do?
We should probably confront them and ask them all to speak the truth, because at this point, our mere speculations might even entangle us in some...
Very well, let us proceed again.
But this is a dangerous secret.
And around the corner of the Great Basilica, well, what will soon be the Great Basilica, comes the knights. 10 of them, with Chiffon and Kilima at the front, all in perfect armor, polished so that the sun setting is shining, clinging to their armor. And they look at you and say, well, good day again. We are here, we will start with a search, and we will start with the cabin.
Certainly. One small amendment. I unfortunately realized something.
Sorry, amendment?
Yes. I go and I do realize I actually made a slight mistake earlier. You see, actually, the Lord of the Lands did actually deliver a message to us. It's just arrived. Unfortunately, I had to get rid of it, secrecy and all that, but he does actually wish for there is a little bit of a complication. Again, we don't want, as you said, your order to risk open warfare. We just need a little more time. However, a representative just to talk with the abbot would be welcome. Just to clear things up. Again, I apologize. I made this error. I'm trying to use my cause now again.
All right. In that case, we will see what happens. Oh dear.
13?
I rolled 5 for duty.
Again, I apologize. I made the mistake. But as your commander said, we need to tread carefully.
Kilima discusses shortly with Chiffon and says, well, alright then. And walks towards you. Youthful, spry steps. The abbot, somewhere around here in his tent, maybe?
Yes, let us take you to him and get this all sorted, yes? I look to everyone else.
I nod intensively.
Fair enough, good. Should you get the people from the cabin as well?
People from the cabin?
You haven't seen the cabin?
We haven't actually had time to look.
But the abbot said that everything they have is inside the cabin. That's what he said.
Yes.
And he said that they already been there?
Yes. Yes, he has said that. But Kilima is quite certain that they have something more in there. Where is the abbot? Is he in his tent? Or should we...
Well, yes, we will take you to the abbot in his tent, but who's at the cabin?
Well, there's obviously someone else here. I would guess it's probably an antiquities dealer or something.
Yes, please do get them.
Excellent. She makes a few motions with her hand, and 2 of the other squires marches up to the cabin, knocks on the door, exchanges a few words through the door while it's closed, and then out comes a man dressed in perfect high fashion, looking like he's walked straight out of the court of a Jargin lord, and marches down towards you as well.
I just look between you and say, a buyer.
We've been locked up in this cabin for the better part of 2 days. Could we please just get this over with? I need to go home.
Very well. Let's go to see the abbot and deal with this matter of affairs.
Excellent. You walk down to the abbot's tent, walk inside. The abbot is there, sitting with his face in his hands, massaging, thinking, seeing you, and... No. But you 4 have brought these 2? What can I do for you, ladies and gentlemen?
The truth.
This is sort of our thing, what we do. We bring people into your tent and then you tell us the truth.
I would not say that I have not told the truth so far. Your name was Kilima, right? He says to Kilima, and Kilima nods, and they start a discussion. But may I ask why you brought them here?
Well, let's see. You see, I have this very funny theory. It's hilarious, you'll laugh. Is it possible that maybe you have the artifact that these knights want, that you are trying to sell it to these individuals here? So what was your name again, Master Merchant?
My name is Argentus. I have been, I got a letter from the poor abbot a few days ago. Got here as soon as I can. He's found quite a lot of interesting antiquities, but the Great Mirror is the most magnificent piece of them all, I would say. I would probably have to wait 20 years or so again before I could see something like it.
Oh, delightful. What do you say about that, Abbot? It seems here that this gentleman is here to purchase a mirror from you. A mirror that you claim you don't have, that these knights here want. And let's not forget the wonderful mercenary bandits outside who... What was it again, Veruca, your findings in the records?
Of the bandits?
Something to do with the abbot here and his financial dealings.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, yes, not to mention the very expensive rare horses that we found outside.
Oh, thank you. You noticed them here from Argentus. I personally take an interest in making sure my steeds are of the best stock.
Well done.
I could go... We probably don't have time for
No,
this discussion.
let's talk about the abbot's dealings that we have here.
Yes, I quite obviously wash my hands of this whole matter. I just want to go home, I will keep my money, I will...
You know, my
just
Master
want to
Merchant,
leave.
I
I just
apologize
want
for
to
wasting your time. You can indeed leave.
Oh, thank you. I'll go pack immediately. He looks the abbot sternly in the eyes and say, take your business elsewhere, if you have any more business after this day.
Turn smiling to the abbot.
Abbot, here's our dilemma. What is stopping us letting the dear captain here go into your church right now? Luckily for you, there are some mild complications. I look to the captain, but I'm pretty sure I can sort them and give them legal access to your church to search as they will.
I am 99% certain, says Kalima, the captain, that the mirror is inside the cabin. That's where Argentus has been all this time. If we could just go in and grab it, we'll take it to Georgia, we'll destroy it, we'll be happy to be out of your hair.
That's where I have a problem with all this.
All right.
You do not intend to destroy it.
Please. What happens to the abbot is the jurisdiction of you and your lord, but this is very obviously a matter of the church.
And we are in Damaria, and the Georgian Inquisition might not have jurisdiction there?
We work with the Inquisition, we know these things. Obviously we are able to discern what is and isn't legal in these matters.
We're still in Damaria, and I believe you are not speaking the truth.
It is very unfortunate what illness has befallen your knight commander. The symptoms that is shown, it's just not giving the best of light to your purposes.
It is important to note that we actually do wish to aid you.
That is excellent.
Like the
But-
truth.
The truth is simple. We are here on a mission from Avonshammer, the Order of Knights appointed by the Church itself, working closely with the Inquisition, fighting heathens and heretics, destroying demons and evildoers everywhere. What we want is the mirror. What we will do with it is destroy it. We should fetch it, we should bring it back, we should destroy it. That's all we wish to do.
Maybe we should call your Jeffoni into the tent.
She might have something different to offer on the situation. How well do you
You
know
know
your
what?
fellow squire?
Quite well. We've been together for, 6 years now, I would
How does
say.
she feel about your commander?
Quite well. We've been with him for almost the same time.
Would you argue that if your commander, ill as he is, was in dire need, you'd all give your lives to do your best to help him?
Well, as long as he still serves Dark, that would definitely be a position, yes.
Or your blood.
Don't be ridiculous. You have this weird, absurd conspiracy theory going on here that I will not dignify that with an honest response. Good day, she says.
Before she goes, I just reach out and say, if you get Giovanni right now, and let us ask one sentence question, we will no longer stop you, and I will do my best to aid you.
That was exactly what I was going to do, because quite honestly, my patience is wearing thin. She walks out, and 20 seconds later, Chiffone comes in. She's older, probably 50-ish at the most. Short hair, looks weary, still has her armor on, looks you in the eyes and says, "Yes, could I possibly help you?"
Please expose your arm.
"Oh, yes. I have cut myself. What seems to be the problem?"
Why?
"Accident while I was sharpening my sword.
Why earlier did you have a tourniquet on there?"
Because I didn't want blood on my clothes." You can all roll alertness.
Oh.
16.
You can all hear that outside the soldiers are marching, and Kalima is leading them somewhere.
They're going to the cabin right now, aren't they?
Quite possibly. You called me in here before I could understand what they were supposed to do.
I sort of sigh a little and say, "Here's the thing. We don't have much time. I'll be fucking frank. We believe your commander has been consumed by forces of darkness, and we believe you're trying to help him because you are honorable to your name and wish to aid him, perhaps by using this mirror to do so. Now, we could help you. Why don't you let us help you? And if you truly know nothing of this, then do you not think that it's very suspicious that we're going to all this trouble when really it would have been easier to just give you the mirror in the first place?"
But do remember that Dark is listening.
And I try and cause doubt again. "17.
She rolls 14, though, which is not more than you, so you can see that she's trying to think quickly while she says this. Well, if you'd like to help us, obviously we would not think that's a bad idea, but we still need to take this whole home with us to the experts at our headquarters. You're very welcome to come with us along to the border. Even all the way up to Irian in the Yagian Empire if you'd like, but honestly all we need is the mirror to make things better for Soskarensis.
So it is true then. He is a Lamia.
We don't know what has befallen him, but it seems to be so, yes.
And I soften my tone a little and say, "And you believe the mirror can aid him?"
Yes.
How about a trade?
A trade?
Yeah. Theoretically, this mirror is in our country, in our possession, of our lord. So, just to prove the point, you can take the mirror if you leave the captain here. If he is a Lamia, we will have good doctors to take care of him. And he won't be able to spread this information into your kingdom. No, empire.
No offense, but I trust the integrity of Damarian doctors about as far as I can throw them, which is surprisingly far, by the way. I honestly do not think that this tiny backwater of a nation can do anything compared to what the doctors and medici of the great Yagian Empire knows. While your country was still in the hands of the evil vampires, ours was large, strong, and a nation of, well, culture, knowledge, and refinement. Let's just please...
Where and when did he become like this?
A few days ago, he did not want to go outside in the sun. The next morning, he claimed he was ill.
But were you here when that happened, or was it during your travels?
The
truth.
We were still at headquarters, but we had quite a bit of luck hearing about this artifact. Yes.
Detect lies. 12.
5.
You can feel that she's lying somewhat, but more probably stalling for time.
This is just Squire. I'm sorry, Chiffon, for all the joy of talking to you. I can sure you can find a stage somewhere in the great halls of whatever you're going for. But we have other businesses to attend to.
I shrug and I say, well, I personally just believe that if all parties can leave in peace, that's for the better of it, and then we can report everything we've found back to the Lord.
I think that's the crux of the matter. My final question, Squire. Your goal is to take this mirror and leave. You are not...
Yes, quite. That's what we've been saying all along, yes.
Because, you see, here's the thing that maybe could change your mind, and it occurs to me, actually, this could be relevant, is that we somehow, Father, tell her of the thoughts you had of a supposed cult of Lamia in these lands.
And there have been rumors about this, yes.
I've already heard this story, so I'll just go outside.
You also notice that when you try to leave, the abbot tries to very unsuspiciously walk along with you, trying to make sure he's not noticed, nothing strange going on. Tries to leave the tent as well.
I let them go, and to be honest, I am going to follow, but I just say, to be frank, that is our reasoning. It is wonderful if you go and take this mirror away. It's not wonderful if these Lamia are using you, using us all, for a nefarious scheme to kill everyone. I don't know what Lamia do.
You notice as you walk outside that all the monks and friars are basically gone. You can see that the footsteps are leading, the tracks are leading towards the Great Basilica where they are presumably hiding. But you can also see that the knights with Kalima are carrying a large bronze mirror out of the encampment and are already a few hundred meters away towards their own camp. Argentus, and he had a few assistants with him in there, saddling up the horses and making everything ready for travel, looking mightily angry, but also a bit relieved that finally this whole sordid business is behind us. They're packing a large amount of money, you can see as well. Chests and small purses and so.
I smile a little to myself, thinking that, well, at least that didn't end up with the greedy abbot, and the proof against him will be very good, what we have collected.
I do, though, just very quickly run to the merchant and his guild.
Oh yeah.
And just say,
What can I do for you, gentlemen?
Just to let you know, the gentlemen in the camp on the right there are mercenary bandit outlaws. So if I were you, I would leave with these, you would maybe skip a little packing and just go quickly, now, in the night.
He takes out a small snuff box and takes a little... Indeed. I am quite aware that they are unsavoury types, but I think that with these grand steeds we would outrun them without a problem. I was honestly scared that the knights would take us. They have war horses, speed and everything. But soldiers on foot can't possibly hope to keep up with these wonderful specimens of... And he starts to recite all the lineages and...
Indeed, of course, a good day, just to know that they are not officially of this land, Lord, and if anything, do come by sometime to Lord Damas, and he would be more than willing to give you good business.
Oh, indeed. I will keep that in mind. Thank you very much. Good day to you, sir.
Yes, but best you be on your way, just in case, because the only issue I have is that now that the issues here being solved, they might be a bit annoyed that they're not going to get there.
Quite possibly. I'm able to outrun them. He says, nods towards you, and gets up on his horse, and they all ride away towards the north.
In the meantime, I run to the Adam's Hammer's campment.
Yes, you run.
I've never been there.
Quite correct.
So I just tried to find the biggest tent.
You notice that there's still one person in the camp, the guard post towards you, making sure that he's keeping a lookout towards the monastery. So it's not impossible to sneak around him. It's it's dusk. It's starting to get a bit darker.
Do we have
now
to
the sun
make a
is
roll
set.
for it?
I would say you need to do a sneak roll, probably.
Yep. Do I get a bonus die because of the darkness?
You left the pine woods, I'd said, so it's not a lot to hide behind, but you could get a bonus die if you spend a focus, of course.
No, I don't.
Alright.
11.
He keeps a much more keen eye towards the monastery than towards what's going around, since he knows that any minute now his fellow knights will come. So you can actually sneak around and enter through the back. You see, as I described before, a tent that is significantly larger than the other ones.
There goes Veruca. What could she be up to? I don't think I have much time to say anything else before I see you suddenly just getting by the guard. Oh, getting a bit worried. I start to slowly walk after, moving towards the camp. Just if this erupts into something, I will need to be there to explain.
Yes, I will follow swiftly by, and ever so slightly just pass by Camilla for a moment and say, by the way, on your person, you don't happen to have any, of your herbs, or nightshade, or hogswort, and some of the things I know that, being a cook, you know that if you put too much in something would be dangerous to someone.
Yes. What are you getting at? What do you want it for?
Just keep in mind that, however this is going to go, we haven't actually solved now the bandits who probably now will not be attacked by knights. Just something to keep in mind. Keep in mind. Let's follow.
It's not a long walk, 500, 600 meters at the most. They march with the mirror. They look happy. Are you trying to outrun them? Get in touch with them? Or...
I actually want to talk to Kilima.
You can jog a bit, catch up with her.
Yeah.
She's marching with the other ones. Two of them are carrying the big mirror. It's large, it's heavy. It's surprisingly well kept. It does not look like it's been underground, buried in the dirt for, at least a millennia.
Excuse me.
Yes, Father...
Lagronius.
Chaplain Lagronius, yes, good day.
Actually, you could say Inquisitor Lagronius.
Inquisitor Lagronius?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
How could I possibly assist you, sir?
You know that Lamia is an aberration.
Most certainly, yes.
An abomination in the eyes of dark. And a true enemy of dark.
Indeed, yes, quite true, yes.
I cannot let this go unreported.
Of course not. Report everything you need to, she says, and looks a bit around her. How far behind are you?
We are walking 10 meters behind.
10 meters behind at the most. Who's your superior?
Lord Inquisitor Carossus.
Lord Inquisitor Carossus, indeed. I understand. She looks around again, and she thinks she's out of sight, at least for details from the monastery. And you can roll for either alertness or reaction.
22.
You don't notice that she's quick as a snake when she pulls out her dagger and sticks it right into your gut.
I actually had my hand on my own dagger, and I tried to do exactly the same to her then.
Absolutely. She tries again to pull out her dagger from your stomach and tries to ram it into you again, just to be sure. You can roll to attack. She will try to defend herself. You are walking probably 10 meters behind when all of this happens. You can see that Kilima and the good Father Lagronius are having a discussion, probably a bit heated, when something snaps inside Kilima. And she, quick as a snake, pulls out a dagger, sticks it into the gut of the poor priest, who tries to do something again.
12.
You have, unfortunately, not the same reflexes as you usually do. Having a huge gut wound can do that to you. And her left hand reaches out, grabs your wrist, and squeezes extremely hard, trying to make you drop it. How do the rest of you react? Veruca is still somewhere in the camp?
I kind of just glance first of all to Carmilla, and then her men. What are they doing? Are they running to her aid? Are they ignoring?
They are only just in front of them. They stop, they look over, and you can see Kilima making motions with her head, trying to nudge them on. Get the mirror, she says.
I stop in my tracks and I turn smilingly towards Asta. Oh well, now look what he's gotten himself into.
Indeed. I guess that seconds are passing.
She's right now trying to squeeze the hand of the poor father so that he drops his own dagger. We could make this quick if you'd like, she says.
Are you willing to set such a plague upon the earth. Have you strayed so far from Dark's grace?
She switches her grip on the dagger so that she has an ice pick grip, says, "We have always been the way we are," and stabs you in the neck as you fall to your knees. Blood flows on the ground. However, this is nothing that Veruca knows, who is somewhere in the camp, and have a few minutes of action before the rest of them are upon you.
I'm sneaking up to the biggest tent.
Yes. It's a 2-part tent. Well, you heard the description before.
I listen, and then I take a careful step, one careful step more, my sword raised, and I walk in.
Yes, you are inside and you see, well, darkness, more so than what is outside. An armor stand, which features the knight's armor. You see, well, nothing more in the first room.
I walk into the second room.
There you see a bed with a blanket and a person between the blanket and the bed. A small tray, a little bottle of wine and a goblet.
And then I look around, no one's there.
No one's there.
So I lift my sword, grabbing it with 2 hands, and thinking to myself, I gotta make this a better story when I retell it. And then I cut off the head.
The second that you lift the sword, you can see the eyes starting to open. But something is not right, is all you can see in the face of the great knight, says Karensis Ovirian, before the sword falls and the head is lopped off. No need to roll against the prone opponents. And the head rolls aside and the body very quickly starts to dry up. As if it's decomposing very, 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 very fast.
So no blood at all?
No blood at all. And the head, well, the skin seems to shrink back as if it's drying up, and you can see both fangs and different kinds of horrible colors moving around the eyes, turning them finally red. Completely blood red. Then, as you try to savor the moment of being a true hero, you can hear the knight's reinforcements arriving right outside the tent. How do you react?
So, there I am, seeing this all occurring. I simply turn to Carmilla and say, here's the thing, Carmilla. I have a funny feeling that the Lord will really be unhappy about the prospect of the vampires of this land perhaps being given tools to regain their resurgence of legend and destroy his lands. I have a plan. I need to go now. God, try and save the priest.
I stand and I sort of finger the cloth at my neck where the stab wound would be on the priest. Oh, well, I save him? And I see the blood just oozing out of him.
If you can, save him. If not, I need to talk to a bandit camp. And I start running as fast as I can to the other camp.
You notice as you go that the knights do not care the least what happens to you. Kilima just looks at you, shakes her head and dries off her dagger on the poor priest's hair, sticks it into its sheath, turns her back and walks towards the camp and the rest of the fellows.
I walk slowly up to the priest and I see if there's any prospect of saving this man.
Unfortunately, no. He is with Dark.
What a shame. Well, at least there will be a graveyard very near soon. I let the lifeblood stop flowing and I head back to camp to maybe have another loaf of bread and some cheese.
Alright, you return to the camp.
I pull out some bread from my pocket and I walk after him as I put it together with some cheese and walk slowly after him as he's running off.
Well, the space between you gets larger and larger. You're getting quite a head start. You hear more and more people outside of the tent.
And I have to think quickly. I think this tent is too thick to cut through.
Yes.
So
Well, it's not too thick to cut through. Quite possible, but to do it without being noticed, that's another matter.
So I do the second most heroic thing today. I hide. With my characteristic, courage, It says, challenging difficult odds or enter a dangerous situation without fear.
Oh yes.
Which means I regain 2 focus, am I right?
Absolutely. That means that you have a few options to hide in here. There's not a lot of things to hide behind. You can hide under the bed of the person you just slew, or try to hide in the shadow somewhere in the tent.
Is it maybe a little table, you said?
Yes, in the room outside. The first room, not the bedroom.
And maybe with a little tablecloth?
Quite possible, yes.
And once, actually, I met this snake burglar in the Great Archipelago. And he taught me how to make myself really, really small.
Alright,
so I hide in this impossibly small space under the little nightstand table.
Alright, you can roll for hiding there,
yes,
I think.
I roll for hide, and I'll burn 3 focus.
That gives you 2 dice.
Yeah.
Please do so. How much?
21.
21. I'll come back to you. Now, Astor, you were running for someone's life, I think.
Yes, I am. I'm trying to get to that bandit camp as quickly as I can.
You are there within a few minutes. It's only approximately a kilometer between the camps. On the way, you run through the monastery and see that the monks and friars are still holed up in the church, and everyone is slightly scared. And something horrible is happening, and none of us know what's going on. Is the basic gist of what you're feeling in there. We get to the bandit camp. No one seems to be on guard.
Excellent. I run straight to the lieutenant's tent. Jonah! Lieutenant Jonah!
You can see people all around in the tent, approximately the 20-ish people there, but they're all doing things packing, it seems. Some of them are eating, but then stuffing things away. But Jonah looks out without his helmet on and said, "What?
Lieutenant Jonah, just the man I need. First of all, where are you going? What's all the packing?
We're leaving."
Why?
None of your business. What can I help you with?
Well, I thought you don't need to tell me why. I just am trying to be negotiable here. I thought you wanted to get your land you were owed, for your papers signed.
Let's just drop the pretense and say we're here for the abbot. Nothing more.
Is it because he owes you money?
Congratulations, you hit the bullseye. What can I possibly do for you now?
I'll be honest with you.
Good.
You want the abbot? You can have him. In fact, all of you can get pardons for your crimes, and I can have a good word in for you with the Lord of the Land himself, so you actually earn some proper money from all this, and your time hasn't been a complete waste.
You can see the confusion in his eyes from the offer here, but what? You said you could give us the abbot and you don't care?
Not at all. He's committed many crimes.
Let's be honest here. I don't give a rat's ass about the rest of the monastery. I just want the abbot. Can I just send a few guys down, grab him, and then we'll just leave?
Small catch. You know those knights? Turns out they're actually all insane, funnily enough. You can look right now, they're carting off this random mirror, that's Brad, and they said, after killing our father, by the way, before we leave, let's go straight through those bandits over there, because they'll be good sport, because guess what? They have Lamia, and they're hungry.
And it's almost nighttime. Right.
So I thought I'd give you a bit of a warning, because they're coming this way anyway, after they get ready, and maybe make you a little bit of an offer. Do you want to earn some money, get the abbot, and maybe earn far more than your lives as mercenaries by just getting the drop on these knights before they come for you anyway, because they are coming for us all?
You know what I think? I think we've managed to keep them at bay for quite a while. I don't think I really do need or even want a pardon for what I've been doing. And quite honestly, I don't give a shit.
That you care about money? Everyone cares about money.
Money promised gives nothing. Money in the hand is something.
I can give you a bloody down payment right now.
How much is in that tiny thing?
Also, there are some merchants heading just that way that have an awful lot of stuff on them.
Good point. Oh, why? There are horses in the monks' camp as well. Alright, Vida! He screams to his sergeant. Explains the situation rather quickly to him in a very strange and guttural dialect. And Vedder jumps on 2 of his men, runs towards the monastery, probably aiming for the monks' horses so that they have a chance to catch up with them. Sure, I mean, working horses are not the same as riding horses, but they can probably do something at least.
Indeed. Now, surely...
Oh no, the rest of us are going after the abbot now.
Well, to be perfectly honest, why did you need my permission anyway at this point? It sounds like you just want to go.
Well, the knights are leaving. You said they were going to come for us.
Yes.
Why would they possibly do that when they came from the north?
Because they're Lamia and they want to eat you all! And at this point, I try and roll down like, I don't know what you know about Lamia, but there's the thing. They ruled these lands for thousands of years, and they have...
Oh yeah, I'm from Demaria, my friend, I know this. He rolls...
9?
He looks you in the eye, with a tired look on his face, and just says, "Look, lying does not become you. We honestly just want to leave. We'll grab the abbot, we'll make an example of him according to, what happens if you don't pay the Men of Mist back their money. You'll find him at least in 4 parts someday. Now, I say thank you, and keep your bedtime stories of Lamias to someone who honestly cares someday."
Just before he leaves, I say, does the name Carmilla mean anything to you?
Pardon?
The name Carmilla mean anything to you?
Yeah, might have. Why so?
Would you be interested in finding her?
He tries to ascertain if you are trying to dupe him and lie to him again, but you seem honest.
I am honest, but there is a bit of shady business going on. After all, I've clocked that at this point, a lot of Carmilla has been seen by quite a few of these people.
That is a name that I most definitely want to see the person owning. How would you... Well, just explain, please.
I know
Quickly.
where they are, and for that information, would that be enough to convince you to actually do something at least vaguely decent, and then get the reward as well? If not, fair enough, we are done.
Alright, as long as you don't tell me that she's in, 50 days away or something.
She's not 50 days away, she's close, but I need you to
Define
actually...
close.
I smile at this point. Now you're playing for time. They need to be dealt with now.
You see that the rest of the men are, gearing up and getting ready to finally get the bloody abbot. What can I possibly do for you then? You want me to...
Deal with the knights now.
You want me to fight the knights?
Yes, or at least try something to... From what I saw, just the captains, the commanders. Maybe, I don't think it's all of them. It's just...
Oh, fuck it. Prove to me that you have Carmilla then. I'll do it. There's not many of them.
Aster takes a deep breath. He is very calm. He knows his shady business.
Oh, yes.
How can he think of a way to weigh this to his advantage? Shall we roll for it, maybe?
Absolutely. Do you get 10 or more?
I do,
13.
yes.
You can, through logic and some deduction, ascertain that this guy really just want to get home. He's been here too much. He mentioned the Men of Mist. They are a huge crime syndicate, working through the underworld of, well, most of Demaria and the Jargon Empire and some other countries in the neighboring area. He reacted very strongly to the name Carmilla. Enough that he's planning to maybe go up against 10 well-armed, well-trained knights with a bunch of people who are used to stabbing people in the back when they're on the blue. He really wants Carmilla. That's probably the best bait you have to goad him into doing something he shouldn't really be doing strategically.
It's one of the people I travel with. They are in this area, but I will withhold their revocation until you do this. If you do this to the best of your ability, I will give you them.
Just the kits, the armors, and the horses are worth. We can apply this to our advantage, I would say. Go get Carmilla. I'll get the boys ready. Carmilla, on the other hand, has been doing something else, I suppose?
Yes, I was going to follow Aster very calmly as he's running off with a bit of bread. As he disappears into the camp, I'm thinking...
It's getting dark, I would say, as well, so you can't really see that far anymore.
No, I think it might be a better idea to... Well, I'm not sure if we also lost Veruca. She just disappeared into that camp. So, what if I just do this? I gather up the evidence that we have so far. Something that we could bring back to our lord. We have the proof of the money laundering or the shady money business of the abbot.
The bribery.
The bribery that we can bring back.
That he can't account for how he got all this money in the first place.
Yep, there's that bit. We can take that and just sort of gather up what we want to bring back so we can start heading back the next day. So I'll probably start heading back to the tents and getting things ready.
Absolutely. You gather up all the evidence you've gathered so far, and you also notice that the abbot seems to be trying to get away. He's with the horses outside, when you also see 3 of the soldiers' brigands running up towards the horses as well. And the abbot jumps, throws down the saddle he was trying to use, and just gets up bareback and goes the horse into running away. This big, lumbering working horse used to pulling huge lumber suddenly finds that it has to work as a riding horse and starts to gallop away
And he
somewhere.
manages to hold on to it bareback?
Yeah. Not easily, but, he can hold on to the mane, and you can see that it's basically the horse steering and they're just galloping out in the wilderness, not...
I smile to myself. Beside it all, it's quite funny how everything is just erupted into strange things. The monastery will probably still be built. The abbot, he will have to be on the run if this evidence leaks out, which I intend to see to that it will. As for the rest, it seems to have been solved without war, at least. Got 1 dead, 1 company missing, and I'm not sure what this Astor is up to, but he's loyal to the Lord. I'm sure he'll do something important that matters to him as well.
Yes. Alright. Cut back to Veruca. You are hiding under the table.
Yes.
And you can hear 2 people enter the room, and you recognize the voice of Chifona and Kalima quietly speaking to each other as they open the tent flap into the inner room and say, Lord Scarensis, we hold it in our hands. It's just outside, please come! And then they see that there's no reaction. Good Lord, they say as they walk forward and notices that... Alarm! They shriek, they are here! Someone has killed the great knight! And they scream at the top of their lungs. And they run out, scream, they can't have gone far! Find them! Find them! Assassins! Murderers! Find them! And you hear a huge clunk as they drop the mirror. The knights, the squires, they pull their weapons, they draw their swords, and they just run towards the war horses, because now they have to find the one who did this. They can't have gone far. You have the option, Veruca, to possibly use the chaos somehow, I suppose?
No, I hide. I will hide until I hear they're really far away.
Really far away.
But the first thing it probably will be tear down all the camps around the area, maybe, I don't know.
We'll see what happens. Back in the bandit encampment, you are there, my good Astor, and you have...
I run back to... I run into the night and I pull my hood up and it's dark, so they hopefully won't, I don't think they would be watching me, to be honest. They're probably getting ready. And I'm running back to where I know Camilla is. And I burst in and I say, right, Camilla, here's a funny thing. So, the individuals of the bandits, they now know you're in the area, but I haven't told them where you are, because, believe it or not, and I know you're not going to believe me, I don't actually want to sell you out to them at all.
Why would you tell them?
Because we need them. We need them to attack the Lamia now. Our Lord, when he hears that we left this place, the Lamia, who knows how many there actually are, will probably come back and raid his lands. You know they will. It's not as simple as, this isn't a world where people leave and, oh, it's okay, we'll never leave you alone. Now, obviously, they are the men of Mist, or linked to them, and they are considering you as payment to attack them. How can we play it that we do this and then you get out of it? You're smart. I don't actually want you to be with them. Think about it. They're going to be attacking the knights. How can we do this?
I'm guessing most of them will die, and some knights perhaps will die, but I still think most of them will die. And what is the bargain here? Did you need to bring me to them?
Currently, Johan just wants you brought to him. I haven't told you who you are. They obviously don't know you are you.
But how do you know they are going to follow up on their side and actually attack them? The knights, I mean.
Well, I don't, do I? Is the problem. How can we play this? Come on. You're smart, I'm smart. There has to be a way.
Wait, what's that noise? What's going on outside? Do we hear that they're shouting alarms and stuff from the other camp?
Oh yes, you can hear the alarms from the encampment of Avon's Hammer miles around. They scream at the top of their lungs, and you hear the commotion, and you hear soon after that war horses are shrieking and that they are getting on, and thundering hoofs are coming your way.
Do I hear them shout the word assassin and stuff like that? Or
The details are hard 500-600 meters away, but yes, you do.
Great. Hester, come quickly. We have to play them against each other. The assassins ran that way. They're in the camp. They're in the rogue encampment.
Yes, good idea.
And I run out to get up to the road where I see the war horses approaching.
You can see that Veder and the two others are trying to get on the working horses, the monks' working horses, and try to catch up with the merchant.
They're assassins.
And there's what are those guys? What are they saying? Repeat that back to me! You can hear Veder saying, getting off the horse he just got up on. What did you say to them?
Did you attack the knights?
Oh, bloody. We gotta help them.
Yes.
Boys, forget the bloody merchant! We gotta save the lives of the lieutenant!
Hurry
Get
up.
back now! The other boys are very confused, gets off them, picks up their spears that it's very obvious they only partly know how to use correctly, and starts running back towards the encampment lane as well.
Pointy ends towards the walls. I look at you with a...
And I just sort of look very shocked, and if we see anything coming on our way, we just say, "My goodness, why have you two done this to each other?"
You can see a few minutes later how a thundering of hooves is moving in perfect formation, 10 abreast, towards the encampment of the Men of Mist, who are standing there with their spears ready, and they're obviously not really knowing what they're doing. These are knifemen, used to working at the docks at night, stabbing backs and killing people while they're asleep, and maybe poisoning food and stuff. Not really used to formation battles, and chaos ensues.
As this happens, as we see them run off and start to clash, who do you want dead? What do you want out of this?
At this point, I suppose the Lamia are the most important, but I actually have no idea what's happening.
Do you want to intervene? Do you want us to help killing them? The knights? Is that what we're supposed to do?
I look to the battle. I assume the knight's probably going to come out on top.
Not a huge assumption, I would say.
I have no idea what's going on about an assassin. Where's Veruca gone? Wasn't she heading to the camp?
Yes, where has Veruca gone?
As soon as I hear them on the
They
opposite
are leaving.
hill, then I crawl up, bend my arms back, and then crawl out, and I crouched. I start to run back to our tent.
It's dark. They've put out the fire and all the torches, and you see that all the knights' armors and so on, their stands are gone. They've taken all the weapons, they've taken all the horses, and you can see the dust in the darkness as the horses are moving away in perfect formation. And you are outside.
Yep. Running towards my tent.
Oh, yes. You run towards the monastery?
Yep.
Veruca! My god, woman, what have you been doing?
I killed the Lamia!
Which one?
The sleeping one. But don't tell anyone that he's...
We're not. We definitely won't. Is the mirror at the camp?
it was on the ground.
I don't think we can defeat them. But their goal, the whole point of this, was the mirror. Can we take the mirror and just get it out of here?
We can bring it to the wagon.
Yes.
I'm packing up again. The mirror, what are we going to do with the mirror? We're going to have a lot of people after us if we have this mirror.
Yes, but... I really take a moment to self-control myself and think of how best to play this.
As you try to discern what course of action should be, you hear the chaos and the screaming and the bloodshed and the violence coming towards you on the night's breeze, and you can feel that this this will not look pretty in the morning, but you have a nice distraction if you'd like to try something, yes?
We need to get the mirror hidden again. The whole issue here was they didn't know where it was. They didn't just come in and charge and start killing everyone. They tried to maintain a level of... Why? Why would they do that? Do they actually care about causing a war? Do they care about being discovered? If they could just kill everyone, we hide it back in the abbey? Can we hide it back?
I think the best way would be to load it onto the wagon, start getting a head start tonight, and get as far away as we can. I mean, of course they've got war horses, but they're not going to follow us far up into the country. They're getting farther and farther away from their borders, are they not?
Quite true.
Yes.
But what about Hugo, the abbot?
He's guilty of treason, and...
Yes, we've got to bring him into...
I have collected all the evidence. Everything you managed to get, I have collected, and it's ready for packing and getting away right now. If you two go and get the mirror, I'll set everything back onto the wagon, and we can hide it under it, just flat. It will not be easily to spot.
And the most important thing of all this is that the monastery is still standing.
Yes.
And they're fine. And
no one has killed any monks so far.
So far!
Go! Just get the mirror!
go.
Start packing things up.
You use the commotion to bring your wagon, bring your horses, take it all up there, grab the mirror, put it on there, hide it under some blankets, and then you leave with the evidence against Abbot Hugo, with the big artifact that everyone was worrying about, and you feel as you load it that it's definitely something fishy about it. You can see the stars inside it don't actually reflect as much as they should. You can feel it both hot and cold at the same time. It's something not quite right here. But you take it anyway, I suppose?
You take it and cover it.
Cover it in tons of cloth and everything. I have no interest in examining it.
You still have this prickly feeling at the back of your necks. The hair stands on your arms when you speak of it. But yeah, sure. It's safe enough to bring along, at least. And your wagon takes off in the night, even if it's a rickety wagon, which, makes a lot of sounds, and the horses and everything. It's nothing compared to the bloodbath that is going on over there. They sneak up on each other in the backs, they stab each other, they use the spears on the horses scream, and, complete destruction. And you leave before you even know who wins. You get a head start, quite a bit. And you get all the way to the pine woods, and even further, before you are even discovered to be gone.
And as we're there, riding through the night, I glance every now and again back at the artifact. Clearly, the second we get it to home, we need to report it to the Inquisition, to the church, and destroy it somehow. At least it'll be away from them. And hopefully the church is fine. And surely that's all my lord cares about at the end of the day. The people were fine, the church was fine, the only casualties have been treacherous knights not working for their lands and bandits deserving of their
Now
deaths.
let's not forget Father Lagronius.
And of course, Father Lagronius, well, he wasn't really honest with our lord. If only he'd mentioned he was inquisitive from the start, perhaps we could have aided him better.
What about you, Veruca? Did you know from the start that there was this sort of activity? Is that what you set on? You wanted to experience more adventure, yes? I thought it a bit strange myself that you were setting out just to do some bookkeeping if you really are this travelled adventure that you describe yourself as.
I think there is a lot of interesting things hiding in the numbers. That the bookkeeping and the numbers and mathematics and the economy is just as exciting and definitely just as influential. Just look at this carnage. So, no, I had no idea I was walking into this, but I'm so glad I did.
I'm glad you find this amusing.
And then I glare at the mirror, smirking.
And I sigh wearily, but I take a moment to collect myself. We, of course, will not be stopping till we get home. And I look to Camilla. And I just remark, I hope you know I really didn't actually want to give you to them. You're more useful on our side.
Well, I gathered that bit, and through my neat and modest dress, I unclasp one of the clasps of my leather jerkins, and I adjust myself, and I was glad I didn't have to use a single one of my 8 poisoned blades that I'm hiding underneath my dress. What a relief! And perhaps now both the father and son are dead, and I don't have to think about them anymore.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played The Monastery's Lament for Aeon. Aeon is published by our friends at Helmgast. Our game master was Pontus Kjellberg, and we were also joined by Jenny Bremberg and Emanuel Perpåls. The music was created by Northumbria, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check out their YouTube channel, or cryochamber.bandcamp.com for more music for your table. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, and David for their generous support. And we would of course like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Infinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and see you soon again.